Hey everyone, just wanted to let you know mental health is still a topic. Mental health awareness is still going on, even if it's after May or after the Awareness Week. I really want to say that mental health to me is having healthy boundaries and having healthy relationships with yourself, if you're spiritual, with God or whoever you aspire to, and with my family and my workplace. So I feel like having those healthy boundaries and healthy um, places for you to be is really important. And I like to have a healthy workplace too, where I feel seen, heard, respected by my employer.
Hey everyone, my name is Iiman from Exercise Focus, and mental health for me is really synonymous with self care. Some things that I like to do for my mental health is go for walks, go for jogs, biking, really take myself outside of my indoor space and go outdoors, get some alone time, and journal as well. I love to journal, reflect on my thoughts, look at situations in my life very objectively. And yeah, those are a few things that I do that I like to do for my own mental health.
Hiya, my name's Salma Ali and I'm a trainee therapist. For Mental Health Awareness Week, I'll be talking about what mental health means for me personally, ways I look after my mental health, and what positive mental health looks like. So your mental health is basically your emotional and your psychological well-being and how it impacts the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you act, I guess. So looking after your mental health is super important because it affects how you live your everyday life. So what does mental health mean for me personally? Mental health for me means self-compassion and self-nurture. And I say these two words because I think it involves you prioritizing yourself and addressing your own needs. So with me personally, if I'm overcome with difficult feelings or I'm feeling anxious or I'm stressed out or I've got periods of low mood, I find that having self-compassion and self-nurture is so important, and I think it helps me manage my difficult feelings much more easier. And I'll give you an example. For example, if I'm overwhelmed at work, I would always have that compassionate self-talk in terms of, Salma, I think you should take time for yourself, speak to your manager, and request some days off. If that's not manageable, let's look at other ways we can try to manage your stress or manage your workload. So having that positive self-talk improves my mental health, I recognise. So I'll say self-compassion and self-nurture for mental health and how I describe it. So ways I look after my mental health is, I've already mentioned one, so being self-compassionate towards myself. So I've always been a firm believer of speak to yourself as if you will speak to your best friend. So you know how with your close friends you're also nurturing and caring and empathetic. A lot of times we don't have that for ourselves, so our inner talk can be a bit critical or a bit judgmental. So I always try to speak to myself as if I'll speak to a close one, and that's where my self-compassion gets strengthened. One other way I look after my mental health is through self-care. So actually prioritizing my own needs and dedicating a day or time or an hour. Like a lot of people think self-care is dedicating a whole day or doing something like going on a small trip, but it can be an hour or it can be 10 minutes. Just allocating yourself a time throughout the day which is dedicated to just you is super important, and that's what I do. So I go on walks, or I read a book, or I go on Netflix and I watch a few shows. I use that app Headspace, whatever it is. All I know is I allocate a time just dedicated to me alone, and that's one way I look after my mental health because I'm prioritizing my own needs. What does positive mental health look like? I think positive mental health looks like not gaslighting yourself. I think a lot of the times people equate mental health to getting up, you should be proactive, or you shouldn't be feeling like this, and like they have a lot of cognitive distortions in terms of other people have it worse than me, so I shouldn't feel like this, or a lot of black and white thinking in terms of, oh, nothing's ever going to get better, so I might as well not work hard on it. But I think once you gaslight yourself, there's no room for improvement, or there's no room for recovery. I think positive mental health is recognizing what's key for you and not comparing it to someone else. For example, for you, talking to a therapist or writing in your journal might be helpful. For someone else, it might be externalizing their pain in terms of singing or acting or doing something else or keeping busy or distracting themselves. So work out what's best for you, and I think that's what positive mental health is. Yeah, not gaslighting yourself and working out what best approach suits you. One message I would like to deliver to you guys on World Mental Health Day is I'm not sure, I've got a lot to say, but I'll say self-love. Yes, that's one way I'd end it, is self-love and self-worth. Fix the relationship you have with yourself. I think the relationship with yourself is the most important, and if you have a sense of self and that sense of self is restored or is strong, I really think it'll be, your mental health concerns might be reduced, or you just have a better prospect at life once you know yourself more. So yeah, self-love, look after yourself and treat yourself kindly, and yeah. Bye guys.
Hello, my name's Zayna Ratty and I'm an LGBTQIA+ race and ethnicity hypnopsychotherapist, and I'm here to talk to you about Mental Health Awareness Week. As a member of a marginalised community, we're more likely to experience high levels of psychological distress, internalised phobia and poorer educational outcomes. Intersectionality in therapy is about bringing the lived experience from outside of the room, inside it, without fear. Now, it's been a difficult year. So practice self-compassion. It releases oxytocin. Step away from your devices and have patience with yourself and others as we go through this process. Remember, mental health is a bit like a Rubik's Cube, many-sided, and we need to think about all of our intersections. If we continue to ignore the intersections of race, ethnicity, disability, gender, sexuality, class, and age, we do so at our own peril.
Mental health should be exposed more. It should be in the spotlight more, because I strongly believe that it is swept under the carpet a lot of the times. And also I believe that the stigma should not be based on prejudice on a person that's struggling with their mental health. I strongly believe that we need to have a healthy mind and a healthy mental health. Now is the time to put in action and less talking, because action speaks louder than words. We need to make changes through our actions, not through our words, so we can make a difference to mental health, to bring awareness and to have a better future. Let's yell for change for mental health awareness.
On behalf of the Black Leaders team, I would like to also bring awareness to the fact that it's Mental Health Awareness Week as well. Mental health awareness and Black inclusion are very aligned. In that, when you look at racism and the effects of racism, it has a big impact on our mental health and how we show up for ourselves, how we show up for our people, how we show up for our families and friends. So it's really important that we look after ourselves. We've talked about, strong Black man in the event we've just had just now. We've spoken about strong Black women. And these are things that we sort of, for a long time, wore as a badge. We wore them as a badge in the face of all the adversity even, that we experienced, because we felt we had to be strong. But with those adages, with those badges that we wear, also comes the denial of our mental health. Comes at the sacrifice of our mental health. So it's really important that as we start to talk about our experiences, as we start to heal and, unearth and heal some of the wounds that we've experienced in the past, that we think about our mental health and think about how to keep it healthy. Self-care, resting, even in this fight for inclusion for Black people. If you need to rest and put your bag down for a little bit, or put the fight down for a little bit, ask our allies to support us, do that. And that is all.